Hey class, so today we are going to be making a ferrofluid and I'm going to be explaining exactly what a ferrofluid is. I'm going to do the best I can. Like I've said before, I'm not in a lab, so if it doesn't work out, there was probably some form of error that may occur outside a lab given the the products you're using, whatever, given the environment you're in. So I just want to put out that disclaimer. And then also I want to start out by kind of explaining a little bit about what ferrofluid is. So in this experiment, we are using three things. We are using vegetable oil, we are using ink, toner, which is already in my cup here. We are using rare earth magnets. And I'm standing far away from my computer because I heard that these things are so strong that they can really mess up a computer or a phone. So honestly, as soon as I'm done with these, I'm throwing them away. I don't want them messing up my appliances in any way. And yeah, I currently have a pack of like 10 of them that came in the box, and I'm trying to keep them all in the box away from all my appliances. But for the sake of this, we're going to use this magnet. I'm going to set this back down over here. And I wrote down, because I like to write it down so that my thoughts are a little bit more fluid and a little bit more clear. What exactly is a ferrofluid? So a ferrofluid is just a fluid with suspended particles of magnetic material. And in this case, the magnetic material is ink toner. And the ink toner is coated with a surfactant so that the particles themselves cannot aggregate together. The fluid could just be water, but in this case, it's veggie oil. Because the suspended particles can be magnetized in the presence of a local magnetic field, so our rare earth magnet, they will exert forces on the fluid they are suspended in. So the particles themselves are not magnetized, but in the presence of the magnetic force of the rare earth magnet, they do become magnetized. And thus the field will essentially behave as though we're a magnetic liquid, even though it's technically not. So let's do this. I'm going to grab a spoon, or even better yet, a knife, and I'm going to take my vegetable oil and pour some of my vegetable oil into my ink toner. It's going to be hard to catch on the camera the reaction going on, but I'll kind of explain what's going on. It's having a hard time mixing up for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. But I'll kind of explain what's going on because you won't be able to see the movement with the magnet through the camera here. So it's having a hard time mixing. That doesn't make any sense, but it's what's happening. And I'm going to put the magnet here and just start moving it around the cup. Oh my gosh. That's super cool. So let me kind of explain to you what's going on. Even though it's not fully mixed up, which is, I'm not really sure why it's not mixing with the ink toner. I don't know if I bought the wrong ink or something. But it's having a hard time mixing with the ink toner. But regardless, even though it's not fully mixed, I am seeing movement amongst the fluid. It's not quite like the video here, but I am seeing like ripples. I'm seeing like it get kind of spiky near the edges. That's pretty cool. And it's separating. I don't know why. Well, regardless of the fact that my ink for some reason and my vegetable oil is separating, I do see movement. It's not quite as distinct as the video, but I do see movement. So it's clear that the ink was partially magnetized in the presence of the magnetic field. And I just want to say the ink is not a fluid. it's little nano-sized particles suspended here in the vegetable oil. For some reason, it's not mixing, and I would need to look into why. But they're not magnetic on their own. They can't stick to your fridge if you stick them on the fridge. But the particles can be known as a paramagnet. This means that if we place a magnet next to them, the particles will become polarized. So that's what we're seeing happening with the movement. And basically this means that the magnetic field turns the particles into little teeny magnets that will then move around within the magnetic field. So basically that's what a ferrofluid is. Mine worked out okay. It didn't completely mix. I'm not sure why, but it was cool to see that movement of the magnetic field. Thanks for watching.